Today's Namaste Yoga continues our series of classes on Vishnu and his avatars, and this one is on his incarnation or avatar as Krishna, and we'll be focusing on his life as a young cow herder. Hello, welcome to episode 2. Here's our blanket, excellent.
Asymmetrical spinning.
Dropping and sinking. Notice how the
Just notice
joining us for the second episode of next week. Namaste. Hello and welcome to episode 113 of Namaste Yoga. I'm so happy you could join us here today. Today, the day that we are filming, it's actually December the 21st, which is the shortest day of the year. So we're celebrating winter solstice. And when I arrived at my friend Jill's house today to do our filming, she left me this gift. Jill is not only the most amazing gardener I've ever met, but also the most amazing knitter I've ever met. And so she knit me this beautiful scarf in my favorite color. So I thought I would wear it for today's episode in celebration of Yule, in winter solstice, and the coming of Christmas. So with winter solstice, we celebrate the return of the light. And this is something that we've been focusing on in the membership site. So if you're interested in that, you can go and sign up for the membership site at melissawest.com. We're about 50% through our initial introductory rate of $6 a month or $60 a year. And once we get to 100 members, that price will go up. So you can still get in and enjoy the winter solstice lecture. That was what was available for December's installation. It's a great lecture on winter solstice and some journaling exercises and how it increases self-awareness and all that kind of thing. So it's a fabulous exercise. I wanted to share with you this morning a couple of testimonials that I received. One, this is on the membership site for one of the people that I suggested she join the membership site. She said, I've already done it. She says, I want to go deeper and deeper in the practice of yoga. I've already done yoga for some years, but I haven't found clearly its spiritual side mixed with the physical as with your classes, Dr. Melissa. I'm following the series since episode 1, your relationship with your body, and I'm learning a lot from me to accept myself as I am. So thank you again, and thank you for that. And definitely the intention behind the membership site is to take people deeper into the practice. The second testimonial I want to share with you this morning is from... oh, that's not the one I wanted to share. Oh, I've lost it now. Well, I'll share it next episode. But it was one from Kenya, which I thought was really cool. So I'll share that next week for 114. Okay, so for today's episode, you will need a strap and a block. And you can go ahead and start today by lying down on your back. So as you rest back, we'll focus in on Krishna's 8th incarnation, Vishnu's 8th incarnation as Krishna. And most importantly, in this life, Krishna came in to speak the Bhagavadgita. It's one of the most important spiritual texts of yoga, where Krishna talks to Arjuna at the beginning of a battle about how to proceed in battle. Arjuna is completely lost and frustrated and devastated to have to go into battle as a warrior, and Krishna gives him a lot of great advice. And the Bhagavad Gita is a metaphor for the so-called battle of life, a fabulous text to look into, definitely. So in this incarnation, we're going to focus in on Krishna's life as a young cow herder. Krishna, as a young man, was known as Govinda or Gopala, and the protector of cows. He was a real prankster as a young fellow, so there's a real joyful and playful quality to him. In his young life, he has a beautiful romance with Radha, who is Krishna's most important love, and also his wife. And the love between Krishna and Radha is signifying universal love, so that Radha's devotion to Krishna becomes an allegory for the love between devotees and whatever aspect of the divine they celebrate. So it's a real important explanation and exploration of bhakti, the yoga of devotion. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Krishna is this beautiful embodiment of love and purity, protector of the sacred utterances and cows. He is the instigator of all forms of knowledge and born to establish the religion of love. Radha and Krishna are a divine couple that rule love and romance, love and devotion. They surrender and serve one another. And Krishna's love is universal love. And through them, we can practice this idea of love and devotion. And when we practice this, we can ask ourselves questions like, what will melt my heart? Or what will move my heart more? And bring these things into our lives. I wanted to share with you an excerpt from the Bhagavadgita that I feel like fully embodies the teachings of Krishna. The divine, tranquil of mind and heart, neither craving nor grieving anything or anyone, accept all people equally, and serve me, divinity, and every living creature. Love me most dearly. Be clear about the crucial importance of love. To love me is to know me. The act of loving is indeed the experience of really knowing me, for I am love, Arjuna. To love is my innermost nature, the truth that I am. It is through this sacred and deep knowing that you gain access to me and become one with my own self. Loving is knowing the divine. Okay, so as you continue to rest back here, start to form your intention. Is it that you would like to receive by practicing your yoga today? And if you've been working with an intention over the last, how many weeks have we been doing this now? Maybe 6 weeks? Then bring to mind your intention again and just notice what it is like to come to this intention again on this day. So once you've formed your intention, we'll stay lying on our backs. And we'll start to prepare for cow's face pose, of course, since we're doing Krishna's life as a young cow herder, Govinda Gopala. So as you lie back here, you're going to cross your right leg over your left leg and really open your right leg out to the side. And then draw your left leg in. You can reach through and hold on your hamstring. Let your shoulders be heavy. And perhaps an inquiry for your practice today could be to notice what it would be like to practice your yoga as a devotional practice. In cow's face pose, we need flexibility in our hips and our shoulders, so that's what we'll be focusing on here today before we come up. Okay, and then release your legs down. Uncross your right leg. And then cross your left leg over your right leg. Really open your left knee out to the side. Draw your right leg in. Reach through. Hold on your hamstrings, especially if you have any knee issues. Or you can hold on your shin Depending on your flexibility, you may be able to wrap your arms around the whole thing too. So choose the one that works best for you and your body today. So part of making yoga a devotional practice is to honor your body and its own limitations. And then go ahead and release this pose. And I'm going to get you to stay lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Go ahead and hold on to your elbows. You're going to release your shoulder joints a bit. So breathe in the center. Breathe out, roll your head to the right and lower your elbows to the right. And then breathe in center. Breathe out, roll your head to the left and lower your elbows to the left. So it's rather fitting that it's so dark today on the shortest day of the year for winter solstice, getting us in the mood to invite in the return of the sun. And then come back to the center. And just leave your head in the center. Breathe in, breathe out, lower your elbows to the right. Glide them to the right, breathe in center. Breathe out, glide your elbows to the left. Breathe in center. Now you'll breathe out, lower your elbows to the right, roll your head to the left. And then come back to center. I'm just going to double check. I think that's all I wanted to do here on the back. Yeah. So bend your knees, roll to your side, and come up. You're going to come up onto all fours. Okay, so I'm going to turn this way. So I think I'm going to have to take this off. It's gorgeous, but it's huge. It's going to get in my way. Beautiful. Okay. So spread your fingers nice and wide. You're going to exhale and round up to your back. And then inhale and arch through your back. So just warm up your spine a little bit here. And then maybe even do a few shoulder rolls here. So roll your shoulders back and down. And then let's do thread the needle. So open your left arm up to the side. Bring your left arm through. Lower your left shoulder, the left side of your head onto the ground. And then slowly come out. And let's do this on the other side. So inhale, open your right arm up. Bring your right arm through, lower your right shoulder, the right side of your head onto the ground. And just notice what's happening with your breath. You can fully breathe your belly back to your spine here. Will help you deepen your twist here. And then slowly come out. We're going to do puppy pose to release your shoulders a bit. So come towards the back of your mat. In this pose, we're going to do two different versions of it. In this pose, you want to have your legs perpendicular to the ground. This is a nice option for downward facing dog if you have problems weight bearing on your wrists. So you're going to reach your arms out long, open your chest to the ground, lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling. And feel that stretch right into your armpits here. Breathe into your chest. Okay, to come out of this pose, I like to come forward first and then bring your knees in. You're going to do child's pose with your hands down by your feet. And just rest there. So in our yoga practices, it is definitely a devotional practice in that we are devoting time to ourselves. Giving ourselves the gift of really being present to our breath, our body, our experience. And then you're going to slowly come up, and we're going to do another version of puppy. So this one really gets into your armpits, and it's a little bit more challenging, at least in my body, and I think I've watched that in my students. So you come into puppy, and then you come up onto your elbows, and you bring your palms together here. So this will really help to prepare our triceps for cow's face pose. Okay. And then release your arms and slide forward. Come back into downward facing dog with your hands by your feet. And then slowly roll up through your spine. All right, so here we're going to come into pigeon, I think. Yes, we are. We're going to do pigeon. So I want you to come up onto all fours. And then slide your right knee forward. Bring your right heel over towards your left hip bone. And fold forward over your bent right leg. So let me give an option for pigeon. One of the things that you can do for pigeon is have your legs bent like this and then fold forward. That's a nice option. Okay. Okay, and then you're going to come upright, and you'll take your left leg and bring it all the way around so that it comes on top of your right leg. Okay, and here's where your block can come in really handy. If this is a really challenging position for you, then you can always sit up on your block or cushions here, okay? That can be really helpful here. Okay, so in this pose, I'm just going to turn and face you here so you can see what's happening. Okay. in this pose, it's good just to let things settle for a few breaths. There's a lot happening in your hips here. So you can take your right arm and just circle your elbow. And then circle it the other way. And then take your right elbow straight up. Take your right arm down your back and use your left hand to pull your right elbow back so you're getting a stretch through your tricep here. Okay, and then release that side. Just feel the difference between your right and your left shoulder. We're going to come into cow's face legs on your other side. So the way that you're going to do this is you're going to stand on your feet. You can just switch sides, but if you want to have a little fun, because Krishna as a young cow herder was all about fun, you're going to stand on your feet and then don't move your feet, but just swivel on them. And turn all the way around, so that your right leg is now on top of your left leg. You can fix up your socks if it's winter where you are too. Okay. Oh, and then just sit for a few minutes and let this settle. And remember that you can use your block here too to sit up on. This can be a great tool to just release a little bit more. Great, and then you're going to hold on to your left shoulder, circle your elbow. So to start to get some space in your shoulder joints. And then circle the other way. And then take your left shoulder right up, take your left arm down your back and use your right hand to pull your left elbow back. And sit up nice and tall through your spine. Okay, and then release your arms. You can take your right leg behind you now. So leave your left leg where it is. Take your right leg all the way behind you so that you come into pigeon on the other side, sleeping pigeon on the other side. Okay, and then from here we'll come back into downward facing dog. So come onto all fours, step back into downward facing dog. Remember, option to do this in puppy or standing with your arms against the wall. You're going to take your right leg behind you and just circle your right hip. And circle it the other way. And then come down and rest in child's pose for a moment, just to give yourself a little break after that weight bearing. And then inhale back up onto all fours. We'll come into downward facing dog again and take your other leg up with your knee bent. Circle this leg. And circle it the other way. And then come back into downward facing dog. Find your way up to standing. From standing, we're going to work with the Anjali mudra, which is a mudra of devotion. It will help to release our shoulders a bit too in preparation for cow's face arms. So you just inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale up. And exhale, hands to your heart. And as you do this, you could even create a visualization with this, so that as you inhale, you're circling white light around you. And as you exhale, you're bringing that white light down into your heart center. So that it becomes a movement of bhakti. Okay, so here's where you're probably going to need your straps. You can take your strap and place it over one of your shoulders. We'll start with our left arm. So you're going to internally rotate your left arm and bring it up your back. And then bring your right arm over and maybe your fingertips touch. And if they don't, you're going to use your strap. Keep your tailbone tucked under, close your ribs. Draw your navel back to your spine. Okay, and then release this side. And let's do that on the other side too. So you'll internally rotate your right arm, bring your right arm up your back, and you'll notice that especially if you're right hand dominant, this arm won't go as far up your back. And it's just because you use it more, it's stronger, it's less flexible, it's tighter. Bring your left arm up and over, and here's where you'll probably need your straps. Great, and then release this from your body. You can put down your strap now. Oh, you might actually need it again. But you can pick it up in a minute. We'll do something else first. Okay, so let's do. We're gonna do tree pose, balancing posture with that Anjali mudra vinyasa. So stand on your left leg, turn your right toes out. They can stay on the ground. You can come up to the inside of your calf, or all the way up on the inside of your thigh. The higher up you move it, the more of a balance challenge it's going to be. And we'll use that Anjali Mudra vinyasa. So you'll inhale, take your arms up, and exhale, come to your core. So your branches reach out and up to receive the light. And you exhale, you draw that light into your core. And then let's do that on the other side too. So stand on your right leg. Turn your left toes out. You can pick up your left foot, bring it up to the inside of your calf, or maybe all the way up to the inside of your thigh. And then we'll do that Anjali Mudra Vinyasa again. So inhale, reach up. And exhale, draw all that light into your heart center. Okay, great. So also from standing, I wanted to do a couple of poses that reenact the iconographic representations of Krishna as young Govinda Gopala. We're going to do a pose of him as a young cowherder. So take your left leg and cross it in front of your right leg. Take your hands out to the side as though you're playing a flute. And then you're going to just stand and balance here. And to increase the balance challenge, you could always... This is just a really sweet little pose, and you can increase your balance challenge by closing your eyes. And then release this really sweet, gentle pose from your body. Uncross your legs and push your right leg over your left leg. And take your hands out to the other side as though you're playing a flute. And you can increase your balance challenge by closing your eyes if you want. So these poses I just created by looking at the representations of Govinda as a young cowherder, playing his flute, herding the cows. Okay, and then release. Another way that Govinda gets depicted often is standing in a pose like tree pose. So you can stand on your right leg, turn your left toes out, pick up your foot, place it somewhere on the inside of your leg. And then take your right hand and turn it down and out, and your right hand and turn it up and out. So this is a really common way that the Hindu deities have their hands in the way they are represented. And it has to do with giving, receiving boons, and protection, things like that. So I know a lot of you are interested in mudras, and we're going to be working with them a lot on the membership site. But this is an example of a mudra here too, a hand position for... Okay, you can release this pose on this side, and we'll do it on the other side. So stand on your left leg, turn your right toes out. You can pick them up or leave them on the ground. And this time, turn your left hand down and your right hand up. Okay, great. Release this from your body. I want us to do one more version of the tree pose with you today that kind of combines cow's face with tree's pose. So what you're going to do is pick up your left leg, and you're maybe going to just stick with tree pose legs. So either here or in the inside of your thigh. Maybe you're going to cross your leg all the way over to like a half lotus position. Okay? And you can hold on to your foot here with your right hand. And then the option is to take your left hand up and over, and maybe you'll be able to bring your right arm up your back for them to meet as well. Okay, so release this pose from your body, and we'll try that on the other side. So remember, you can go any sort of step along the way. You don't have to come all the way along with us. This time you're going to pick up your right leg and place it somewhere on the inside of your left thigh, or cross it all the way over. Open your leg up. Okay, you can hold on to your foot here and bring your right arm up and over. Or maybe bring your left arm up your back too, and the two maybe meet. So you just want to be really careful of your knees here. Make sure you're feeling stretch, not in your knee joint when you do that one. Okay, great. So let's take our legs wide now. And you're going to interlace your fingers behind your back, roll your shoulders back and down, and come into a wide-legged forward fold with your arms doing a chest opener. So how could you honor yourself more in this pose? What could you do to melt your heart a little bit more, maybe open your heart a little bit more? Okay, so you can release this pose and make your way down onto lying on your mat for our back bend. Okay, so you can lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. I'm going to do bridge pose with the heart opener here. So the way to work is you'll press into your feet to lift your pelvis off the ground. And then we're going to make it even more of a back bend here by walking your shoulders and your elbows underneath you and interlacing your fingers. So I'll take my sweater off so you can see. This is an act of devotion to you today because we have no heat here today, so I'm devoted to you. No heat in Ontario on December 21st. It's a little chilly. Okay, so you're going to lift up. So you walk your shoulders underneath you. Keep your knees together. Actually, here, this is so common that the knees splay out here. So I'm going to suggest if you have a block to put it between your knees. Okay. Then you get to see this for the third time. You can walk your shoulders underneath you, elbows together, fingers interlace. Okay, and then to come out, just walk your shoulders out from underneath you. Lower your pelvis down and hug your knees into your chest. Okay, from here you can rock yourself up to seated. And we're going to get ready to do cow's face pose again. The first thing we're going to do is a cute little pose called rock the baby. And you can take your right leg and maybe place it in the crook of your left elbow. Wrap your right elbow around your right knee, and then you can rock the baby here. Okay, so not everybody will be able to hold their baby so tight and close. And if you want to, this is fine too, okay? In fact, this is nice because you can probably cross your leg over a little bit more to prepare a little bit more for coming into cow's face pose. Okay, and then you can cross your right leg all the way over your left leg. You can stay here, or maybe you're going to bring your left heel up to your right sit bone, so you're in cow's face again. And here you may also want to sit up on your block or your cushions if this is not such an easy pose for you. You'll internally rotate your right arm up your back and bring your left arm up and over. Maybe your fingertips meet. If they don't, this is where your strap comes in handy. Okay, and then release. I'm going to do a little twist here. And then a twist to the other side. And come into the center and fold forward here. Okay, great. And then you can release your legs out in front of you again. And let's do that rock the baby on the other side. So slide your left leg in. You're going to cross it over. Place your foot on the hook of your right arm. Your left elbow wraps around. And then you can rock the baby. And you may be able to hold it a little bit looser and just start to work to cross your leg all the way over. Okay, and then you can rest it all the way over. And perhaps you're going to keep your right leg out straight. Maybe you're going to bring your right heel up to your left buttocks. Maybe you're going to sit on your block here, okay, or your cushion. And when we're here, you're going to bring your left arm up your back and your right arm up and over. Okay, and then release, twist. Twist to the other side. And then forward fold. And then slowly come back up. Release your legs. Give them a shake and a wiggle out. Okay, so you're going to rest back for Shavasana now. Do take a good 5 or 10 minutes to lie back on your back with your palms turned up to integrate your practice today. I want to thank you so much for joining us for episode 113 of Namaste Yoga. I also want to thank you so much for taking the time to leave your comments on YouTube. I've noticed we've been getting a lot more comments on YouTube. One viewer in particular, she's also a member on the membership site, Natalia. She's been leaving lots of comments. Every single video she does, she leaves a comment. So it's so sweet. And it really helps other people to find out about the videos and encourage them to try them as well. So you can leave comments on YouTube. You can leave comments on the Facebook page at Your Namaste Yoga on Facebook. And also, it would be really fantastic if you felt so inspired to go and leave a rating and some comments on our iTunes page as well, if you just search for Namaste Yoga there. So thank you so much for joining us for episode 113 of Namaste Yoga, and I'll see you next week. Namaste.